Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What have you been up to?
Well,
As he checks his notes, his copious notes that he's been making all through the week.
Well, the reality is that I just whipped them up now. If I was smarter, if I'd got into the habit of it, I would have notes prepared in advance, but I don't.
Nor do I.
No. We talked about Doctor Strange and Umbrella Academy coming out over the weekend. They did.
They did.
I watched both of them.
Hang on, how many episodes are there of...
Umbrella Academy? 10, I think?
Right.
So I had a good time with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, you did.
But I am led to believe that you did not have such a good time about it.
No, I think it was more a case of it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, I guess is how I felt about it.
I thought it was fresh and different for the MCU, but...
Fresh and different. I want something fresh and different.
And I got to the main on-end credits, and up came Danny Elfman's name, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, that makes sense. There was a bit less of the... yeah, a bit less of that, but definitely felt like a Danny Elfman soundtrack.
He has matured a lot since the...
And the third season of Umbrella Academy was also good.
Right.
I think maybe just barely starting to get a little long in the tooth, but...
Okay. Which is interesting that you mention, because I said a couple of weeks back that I found the latest season of Stranger Things. I'd only watched like 2-3 episodes, and it felt a bit stale to me. Well, it ramped up. And I got to the end of it and going, come on, finish the story.
Well, good news and bad news. The rest of that season is coming out on July 1st, so this Friday. Mm-hmm. This Friday, wow.
Yes.
The bad news is that won't be the end of the story.
No. But I'm hyped again, which certainly the first season I was like that, and the second season, the third I felt was losing it a bit, and then the fourth, it started feeling stale, but then it ramped up. So,
also starting on Friday is Le Tour de France.
Oh, good grief! Is it that close?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fortunately, it's opening with an individual time trial, so it will start later at night, and I should just barely be able to fit Stranger Things in, because there's only, 4 hours of it left to come. And the first release of data for the Australian Census from last year dropped.
It did indeed.
And as it turns out, Australia is no longer majority Christian.
No.
It's plurality Christian. It's not quite either majority or plurality non-religious, but 2026. I think it might happen.
Bring on the heathens.
And all sorts of interesting stuff that I've found, like here in this local government area where we reside.
Yes.
A weird bump has appeared in the age graph between the ages of 20 and 40 that wasn't there 5 years ago.
So you saw something that wasn't there before?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You are making a reference to a film that we are not watching tonight.
No. Was there any explanation as to that bump?
I am unclear as to the meaning of the bump, and I'm sure as I dig further I might find more.
You seek meaning in the bump.
And I was going to look at correlation between religion and age, but that information is locked behind the table builder, which isn't available for the 2021 data yet. So
okay.
They're trying to get that out before October, when the second, much smaller release of data hits. But I don't have access to that data right now.
I must admit, I was having a bit of a look at it myself and comparing it to previous years, and they make it difficult, especially when the way that the information is presented has varied each year, each census year. So it's, yeah.
My one actual bugbear is that they've changed the spacing of the rows at the top of various sheets. So you look to one, you look to the other, and the headers and the rows are slightly different heights.
Oh no.
And also spacing between some of the columns, and I'll be okay, I think.
You'll just have to do a whole dump and then stick it in Google Sheets and then format it to your heart's content.
Well, I'm picking and choosing data where I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hinduism in this local government area increased by over 5 times.
Right.
Yeah.
5 times.
Yep.
Huh. Or people have decided to actually enter it.
Yes, I did also notice that the quote-unquote inadequately described column had decreased.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I believe religion is the only optional question on the entire census.
It is. Yep.
So
that's why it can be a little hard comparing that question. Any other thing was in quotes, a compulsory thing to answer. I say in quotes because there's certainly some answers to things that are a bit ambiguous.
And occasionally free answer questions where you can type wherever you want. Sometimes you just get garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anything else?
No, that's all that I have written hastily down here.
Good.
What about you?
Well, I've been trying to get out a bit more still and lengthening my walks and increasing my pace as well. So I've seen a bit of an improvement there as far as weight-wise dropping. I decided, and this might sound counterintuitive, but I decided to reward myself for reaching a bit of a milestone. So I thought I would reward myself by having takeout today for lunch. I didn't go overboard, and I chose something that did have salad in it and some protein. So I had a hamburger with the lot. And I thought, right, I will look at websites, because there are a couple of places that I could have gone to, and I picked a particular one so that I could pre-order, so that it should be ready by the time that I get there. And the website looked well laid out for doing that, and so I did place my order, because it said that it would take 15 minutes to get ready. So 15 minutes out, I placed my order and then kept walking, and there was a progress bar, and by the time that I got outside the shop, because one of the reasons I pre-ordered and prepaid was so that I could duck in and duck out. I didn't have to wait around. That would have been somewhat academic because there was no one in the store. But I stayed outside as the countdown continued, and it said 2 minutes to go and 1 minute to go. And I know those things are automated, but it reached the 1 minute to go, and then after a minute after that, it said, your order is taking slightly longer than usual. So, okay. And I looked in, and nothing seemed to be happening inside there. And I thought, okay, I'll leave it. 5 minutes went by, and probably even then I should have gone in and said, look, I ordered, but I didn't. I kept watching this progress bar, and it still was saying your order is taking longer than usual. So 25 minutes after ordering, I just, right, I'm going in and asking, and sort of got, oh yeah, it's here, yeah. And I looked at the ticket, and they prepared it within 10 minutes of me placing the order. And so it had been sitting for 15 minutes on their rack, which wasn't heated. Sorry, it was above all the gas cookers, so there's a bit of heat wafting past it. I said, well, look at your webpage. It's still saying that it's not even ready, so I didn't come in. And who I think was the manager said, oh, yeah, that sometimes happens. It gets sort of jammed in the webpage. I said, well, it'll be fine. So I took my burger, which cost a bit of money. It was a quote-unquote premium burger, and went outside, and it was lukewarm, and it was a reasonable burger, but I was just a bit miffed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ate it and continued on my way with my walk. And 10 minutes after that, my phone goes pling, and it's an SMS, a text message, saying, your order's now ready.
Yeah.
And So I must confess that I wrote an email to the company saying, if you're going to use this tech, there's going to be certain people who have a mindset that, okay, you have a system in place, that's going to work, isn't it? Foolish me, but that's how my world exists, is trusting these things. But anyway, so that was my drama for today.
Right.
First world problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been a nice hot burger, but the lettuce had been in this burger for so long that it just didn't feel fresh, and I was a bit disappointed. I was rewarding myself, and the reward was a disappointment, and now I feel fat. Anyway, all of that is beside the point,
Mm-hmm.
and beside that point is a movie that we need to watch.
It sure is.
Now, before you introduce it, I did check to see how long this movie was today.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, I did note, not that I'm surprised, but this is a Blu-ray from the UK, is my
That
recollection.
is correct.
And the parental rating,
Mm-hmm.
it gives the UK age rating, but it also says contains very strong language and strong comic bloody violence.
Mm-hmm. Possibly not in that sense of bloody. The one that you're reading there.
Oh, sorry, because I'm looking at it on a narrow phone screen, and strong comic bloody violence. Right. Okay, my bad. So we're in for some language again from this crew, a crew that we have watched previously. What are we watching today?
We are watching, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and directed by Edgar Wright, Hot Fuzz.
A semi-pseudo sequel to Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. With many of the same people in different roles.
Yes. So what is it all about?
What it's about is a slightly dodgy white on blue print.
Excellent.
Like, it would almost be perfectly readable if it wasn't quite so fuzzy.
Right. Do you want me to bring up the...
I'll be fine.
When top London cop... Sorry. Do go on.
When top London cop PC Nicholas Angel is reassigned to the quiet town of Sandford, he struggles with his seemingly crime-free world and oafish partner Danny. When several grisly accidents rock the village, it's not long before Danny's dreams of explosive, high-octane, car-chasing, gunfighting, all-out action become reality. It's time for these small-town cops to hand out big city justice.
That is what we're watching. We've got it on Blu-ray, so Thomas is going to take the Blu-ray out of its case. He's going to put it into the machine. We're going to watch it, then we're going to come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
Got nothing.
Great.
You mongrel.
Side B is the Classico side.
Dag.
So, what did you think? I get to turn that around on you.
You do. It's one of those rare occasions where you are forgiven for doing that. Oh, wow, what a film. I had way, way, way too much fun with that. which invokes a certain amount of guilt. Do you remember Rubber?
I do, yes.
It's sort of much along those lines, feeling-wise, where you really shouldn't like it that much, maybe. But, it had its own set of boundaries that, up until just one brief moment, they would not cross, and then it just got really silly, and then back. Every British crime show cliche, right down to the churchyard druid type scenario, and the whole midsummer thing, everybody is dying off. It just, I loved it. I really did.
Why does anyone ever move there?
But yes, there was that one point where they're suddenly throwing out deliberate cliches blatantly, you know, with the phrases that they're giving each other during that final no holds barred. But and so it's sort of got uncomfortably silly then, maybe, but just for a brief moment, and then got back into its confines of, we are completely crazy with this this film, but we're serious. And I think that very much occurred with Shaun of the Dead too, and I'm just sort of flabbergasted. I could not write notes. I did write two, and one of them's completely superfluous because I thought it was cool, but that coolness continued through the entire film. So just singling out that one is pointless. But I did love the whole, we're not going to have Chekhov's gun, we're going to have a Chekhov's arsenal. And the whole premise of pulling that off successfully, a Chekhov's gun scenario, is that you recognise that, hey, that is going to turn up later, and I will keep that in the back of my mind. And then they distract you long enough for you to forget it, just in time for it to be revealed. But they did it twice. With the same arsenal. You know, you think, right, okay, it's turned up, and then 15 minutes later,
you forgot something.
You forgot something, and whammo again.
They showed you it.
Yeah.
They showed you it
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah.
and you still forgot.
And again, they showed you it, and you did think, that's going to pop, but the whole way that it was put together, the editing was great, the acting was great, the absolute knowing nods, but kept serious, were just brilliant, that you completely forget about things until they're brought up again.
Lessons to be learned.
Yes.
Anything can be funny if you do it again in a different way.
Yep.
And anything can be funny if someone unexpected does it.
It's just so full of double takes, and I should not find that funny, and yet it was, because it was done so incredibly well. I don't know what else to say about this.
Well,
You've got some notes.
No, those were my only notes.
That was your only notes.
Yeah,
it's another one of those. I think Rubber is probably the closest comparison to how I'm feeling after watching that. Is that nobody could have pulled that off as well as they did, and it was done incredibly well, and yet I feel bad just having way too much fun with that. It did have gratuitous language, again, that I feel, but it wasn't as...
Concentrated?
Yeah. But again, it sort of felt too knowing, again, in that brief period of complete silliness that maybe I'm making too much of that. But
this is what happens in these films.
It became American. Mm-hmm. And that was the deliberate ploy of suddenly we're not British cops anymore. We are doing it the way the Americans do it.
We're doing Bad Boys. We're doing Point Break. We're doing all the things.
Yeah, and that's when the American cliches come out, and it throws you, I guess, or it did with me. Yeah. I got nothing else. I think I said this about Rubber. It's the type of film that you recommend to people in dark alleyways. Psst, you want to watch a good film. All right, well, if you got nothing...
Yeah. Well, I've got another audio commentary to listen to over the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
I like these films. This is why I bought them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was a real perler. It really, really was.
Well, we've done Strawberry and we've done Classico.
Yes.
2 weeks from now, How do you feel about Mint?
Mint. Yes, minty goodness.
Mm.
In fact, that's probably the type that I would select myself.
Oh, yes. Ice
cream-wise.
Given the choice between those three,
yes,
Mint, definitely.
Yep. To get us just that one bit closer to that minty goodness, let's move on.
The following segment needs a little more time in the oven. It's done now.
What have we got?
That's a great question. I know we have at least one thing, and no more than two things. And I'm getting a sneaking suspicion in my mind, no more than one thing.
It was that one thing, remember, Thomas?
Yeah, it's just one thing. Dunkel.
Hi, Dunkel.
Wrote in with more than she usually does.
Yes.
Quite a bit more.
Quite a bit more.
And she says...
Yes.
About iRobot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is the first time I've actually seen a film on this cast, but I did very recently see this. I don't think I have much to share other than I agree the car accident assertion was humorous.
Yes. Yes, it was.
That, and it kind of feels like a romance was cut out of this movie.
Yeah.
And she's glad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It would not surprise me at all.
She also says that she thinks it is a bit much to reveal in the Disney Plus synopsis that comes up when you pull up the film.
It was a bit, wasn't it?
That the officer and the robot team up.
Yes. Yes. Spoilers. Much.
Unrelated to the film, Dunkel uses her Windows tablet in portrait.
Yep. My Android tablet very, very rarely goes into landscape, except if I decide to use that to watch a film.
The trouble with me is I like to set it down and use it like that.
Yes. It's got a case that folds up into a stand, so... Yep.
That I'm not perfectly happy with, because it doesn't quite do as much as the iPad case did. It doesn't snap there.
Oh...
And it doesn't snap up there either.
Ah, but it does snap the other way.
Just like that, or over the top, yes.
Snaps closed, yep. Get over it.
I said there as if a dear listener can
see exactly what's going on.
It makes a triangle, it makes a lid, but it doesn't snap to the back in either of its configurations. Yeah.
All right. So we had no guesses for...
We do have... I don't know why I just closed this.
We'll see.
It's...
I thought...
I don't know why I just closed the app. There is a guess.
Yes.
And it is, as Dunkel presumes, a wrong guess. Because it is not IA3LOR. I'm not entirely sure where this has come from.
I don't know either. Okay, so maybe Dunkel can explain.
Unless it's just a random string of characters.
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
Which would be quite fitting considering how blatantly obvious the real answer would have to be. And that is iRobot.
Mm-hmm. Which you didn't go with, did you?
No, I did.
No, you did.
Yes.
You did. I didn't check.
Yes.
I didn't check, so
Yeah.
yes. But I am going to... Okay. That is a file name.
That is a file name, yes.
Oh,
So iRobot was indeed last week's file name, IROBOT, and this week's I'm not going to tell you.
But you could guess.
Yes. I should also point out that it is the file name that I originally used for Shaun of the Dead, because I thought we were watching
Right.
Hot Fuzz.
That's...
Yeah, so I actually had to change it. Anyway, I digress. No other comments?
Nope. That
We
was it.
shall... No?
That was it.
Yep. We shall move on then.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed. It's your turn.
It is, and I'm going to be
The very best.
that I can be. So, I have not got anything particularly planned. I'm just going to bring up my list of films that I want to rewatch that are on the shelf. I'm going to give my phone a shake, which will select one from that list. Oh, interesting. You have marked as interested,
Uh-huh.
and I suspect you have not seen it.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think you have seen it. So, here is the plot synopsis. Buzz in when you think you've got it. In 1943, the Germans opened Stalag Luft North, a maximum security prisoner of war camp.
Buzz.
Yes, what do you think it is?
Is this The Great Escape?
I shall continue. Designed to hold even the craftiest escape artists. In doing so, however, the Nazis unwittingly assembled the finest escape team in military history. Brilliantly portrayed here by Steve McQueen, James Garner, Charles Bronson and James Corbin, who worked on what became the largest prison break ever attempted. One of the most ingenious and suspenseful adventure films of all time, The Great Escape is a masterful collaboration between director John Sturges, screenwriters James Clavell and W.R. Burnett, and composer Elmer Bernstein. Based on a true story, The Great Escape is epic entertainment that entertains, captivates, thrills, and stirs, according to Variety. We are indeed watching The Great Escape.
And we may want to get started on it
Yes.
a bit earlier.
Just a little bit earlier.
Because it runs for almost 3 hours.
It does. You have not seen it?
I've not, no.
Excellent. Good.
No, but I know how it ends.
Spoilers? All right. We hope that you can join us next week when we make A Great Escape. In fact, we may not be here next week. We may have tunnelled our way out of the Deranged Cat studio. And wouldn't that be...
Where else would we be recording?
The Cubby House. That's where the tunnel comes out.
Yeah, great job digging that.
We hope that you can join us when we watch The Great Escape. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production. house. How are we ever going to get everything that we need to produce this show into that and comfortably record?
Okay, well, it's on DVD.
Yeah.
I have a portable DVD player.
Okay.
So the recording device will run off batteries and also off a power supply. Mm-hmm. So we're set.
What about the mics?
Yeah, the mics will come with us. We'll just prop them up, attach one to one bike, which is in the cubby house, and the other to a stack of water containers.
Right.
I don't know where we're going to fit, but
yeah, this is what I'm saying.
we'll be fine. Trust me.
I don't.
Trust me. The plan will work. It'll work. I mean, you can stop. So Thomas is going to take the Blu-ray out of its case. He's going to take the disc